Alright, filling out Form 4, application for tax paid transfer and registration of a firearm. I'm just making up names and stuff here. So, I've talked to a few people who have purchased NFA weapons, and some say that the gun shop will actually fill this out for you and print it up, and all you gotta do is sign it and stuff. I've heard of one that actually mails it, you bring it back to them and they'll mail it off and everything for you. Other ones, they just give you a blank form and tell you have a fun day. So basically, if you're filling this out, what you're going to do is you're going to put up here your name. So, Joe Citizen. You're going to put your country. You're going to put your address. You're going to put your telephone number. And you're going to put what kind of transfer it is. I'm filling this out like I'm buying a machine gun. So that'd be a $200. If you're buying it any other weapon, that'd be a $5. If you're manufacturing it, it's going to be $200. Okay. This stuff is one of those goofy things. If you're buying it for yourself, you don't bother filling that out or put NA like I did. But if you're filling out as part of a trust or a corporation, you can put stuff in there for that. I'm not fully sure about all that, so that's something you're gonna have to figure out for yourself. This is where the importer, manufacturer of the firearm goes. This is the area which is going to be kind of difficult to fill out if you don't have it with you. This is a type of firearm, any other weapon, machine gun, suppressor, short-barreled shotgun, short-barreled rifle, destructive device. Okay. The caliber, gauge, or size. So, like I'm filling this out for like an M16, so I put 5.56 millimeter. If it's a suppressor, you'd put whatever caliber the suppressor is, which is goofy because a 22 caliber suppressor can be used on a 22 caliber. Well, certain ones can be used on 22 caliber weapons and 5.56. Then you put the model. I just put FG1, whatever. The length of the barrel, the overall length, and the serial number of the gun. I'm not sure, but I think everything has to be serialized, including suppressors. This area is additional description or data appearing on firearm. I just put NA because I don't have one with me, so whatever. This area is for the dealer. They're going to put their FFL number, their SOT, and all that other fun stuff. This is where you're going to put your name, name of transferee, the lawful purposes. It's going to ask, purpose of the machine gun, short-barreled rifle, short-barreled shotgun, or destructive device described on this application for the following reasons. I've heard of a lot of people, they just put lawful purpose, and that's it. Okay? This is where you're going to sign it, you're going to date it, and you're going to put a picture, a photograph of yourself right here. I have been told, and this is from the ATF website, that a passport photo is like the best one to use. Then you're going to ask these questions. We're going to answer them just like on 4473, purchasing with any firearm from a dealer. Basically, you're going to put no to all of those. This is where it gets a little fun. Again, a lot of people, what I've talked to is fill this information out. Some people just say put your name and that's it. And what this is you're going to have to take it to the chief law enforcement officer in your jurisdiction. I've talked to several people. That can be the chief of police, sheriff, or designees of that person. The sheriff might say that, the undersheriff can do it, or whatever terminology your area says. Chief of police might have a chief firearms officer or something like that. That's what they deal with. I've also heard that it can be a judge. I've also heard that it can be a mayor. Again, these are things that you're going to have to find out for sure for yourself, because if you send this off, like let's say it has to be the chief of police and you have a judge sign it, or the sheriff, and they're going to deny it because I mean, they might deny it because that's not who your chief law enforcement officer is. So I would again ask the dealer about that one. And then, like down here, some people say, like, if you know it's the chief of police, you would put their organization, so you put the police department down there and all that fun stuff. This is the actual tax stamp that you would get when it returns. I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. And so this is what it would look like when it comes back, with the exception of the box and all that stuff, because that's going to be your private information. I just copied that off the internet, so that's why I blocked off all that. Now, again, this is another area where I'm not 100% sure, but this is something I would possibly do. This has to go with the gun or the suppressor at all times. It has to stay with it. So, what I would suggest, because I am looking at buying a suppressor, they suggest keeping your suppressor in a pouch and having this with it at all times. The guy I was talking to, this is a couple years back, so that's why I'm really kind of hazy on it. But what he suggests is, again, keep it in a case, but actually take this and fold it up and put it, like rubber band it to the suppressor. So the only time it comes off of the suppressor is when you're shooting it. Another person suggested to go and make a registered copy of it, or a certified copy at the courthouse. Okay? And then keep that certified copy at home or wherever in case something happens to this. You can actually, send a certified copy to the ATF to see if you can get another one without having to pay another $200. I'm not sure if that's going to work or not. I have talked to a few people that have NFA weapons. They've said they've never once had been inspected for this paperwork. Another thing is, when you buy an NFA weapon, somewhere in the rules and regulations of owning it and all that stuff, that you allow the ATF to come and inspect that weapon to make sure it's still legal and make sure your paperwork's online whenever they want to. I have never heard of this happening. I've heard of one time where the ATF didn't do an inspection, but they called him up, they made an appointment with him, and they went to his house, and he said they stayed in the living room. He went and got his I think it was a machine gun, out of his safe. He brought it to him, he showed it to him, they inspected it, they looked at the form, they handed it back to him, told him to have a good day. It took 15 minutes, he said. So, there you go. That's the best that I can really do. So I'm not an expert, but there you go. And if I do actually buy a suppressor, I will go over the steps that I took to do it.